That was an excellent introduction, Matt. You're welcome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Whale of a Podcast, and I am extremely excited. I know Nick is. You excited, Nick?
Oh, dude, you bet.
So excited. My first special guest I've ever done on YouTube. The first special guest is one of my favorite YouTubers out there. We have Azuritereaction right there.
Hey.
How you doing?
Pretty good. I'm just actually sitting here eating pasta, so I'm pretty relaxed.
Good choice, good choice.
It is very good, especially for the college life. If anybody living, when you're living alone, paying off
I just
tuition.
graduated from college last year.
What?
I just graduated from college last year.
Oh, nice. Where were you going to?
Oh, just this little college in Modesto. I just got my AA, and I said, screw it, I'm done. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm too bad at math to be able to get a BA.
Yeah. Me, Nick, and actually, first I should go ahead and say, for those of you listening, you're like, who's on the podcast? Right. So yeah. First, Nick is there. I totally fucked this up. Okay. Okay.
It's all right.
We're gonna rewind. Hi, I'm Matt. As always, we have Nick, Marcus, and Lucas, and Azurite. All right.
Yeah.
Do you prefer Dez, or do you like people to call you Azurite more?
Oh, I'm fine with either one. I don't have any preferences, whatever people want to do.
Oh, that's good, because I tend to call people by their name a lot of times. Just
that's
it's
fine.
a thing for me. Cool. So we have a whole list of stuff to go over, so that we don't just sit here silently thinking about what to say next. Because because a few podcasts I've actually had in the past, embarrassingly, are very unorganized, and people have told me that, and they're like, they're great, but I just don't. I see you like you're struggling to find things to say, and so yeah, you know how it is.
Well, yeah, it's hard to do something that has a relaxed feel to it without being unorganized, because those are two contradictory things usually.
Yeah. Exactly. So basically, what was I gonna say? Sorry, someone just interrupted me. But yeah, so I was really struggling, and then when I messaged you, I don't know, it says 4 or 5 weeks back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I'm gonna, because when you asked me like, so what is this podcast about? And I'm thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, I don't know what my podcast is about. So I spent about 2 hours trying to figure out, okay, I gotta think of modules and things that we can talk about for up to like 5 or so minutes, right? And it just keeps the ball rolling. And I mean, we don't have to go over everything I have on this list, but it helps me get through this whole thing, fun. So anyway, with that long-winded intro out of the way, first, welcome, Azurite. Welcome to the show. How do you feel? I think I've asked that about 10 times already, but.
Well, I mean, I'm fine. I'm sitting here. I'm eating pasta.
Right. And so, as you can tell, I'm a little nervous, but that is all right. I'll try and get over that. I've never.
Hey, you don't even like nervous at all. I guess sit here eating food. It's like I'm a cured AIDS yet. It's like if I cure AIDS, then you can be nervous around me, But until then, I'm just a completely normal person.
Yeah, no, it's just it's just a feeling.
That's a good way to look at it.
It is.
Like if you cure AIDS, you cure herpes, you cure the common cold, or you defeat world hunger, then everybody should be bowing down to you and be nervous. But until you do that, it ain't really.
Well, if you do those things, I'll be glad to say I've been on a podcast with you. So
If you do all those things, then you really should have people bowing down to you.
Did all those things, it'd be difficult to get you on the podcast, probably.
Yeah, if I did all those things, I'd probably be dead. Somebody would probably assassinate me.
No, I'd probably be watching you on Oprah right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd just be the president. I'd just be the president of all countries.
President.
The president of Earth.
The president of Earth. Yeah, so.
I tend to derail stuff really bad, so I'm gonna try not to do that.
No, that's fine. It's really, I really appreciate, like, because, like, I watched a lot of your videos, and it's so funny because, like, when you're talking, I'm like, wait, am I watching one of his videos? And it's like, wait, YouTube, check the tabs, and it's like, oh, I'm like, wow, you know,
Really kind of surreal, isn't it?
it's it's real stuff, you know, and a lot of people I've seen, like, in the comments when I sometimes read them, I see, like, some people are like, you're not even doing it right or stuff like that, and it's like, well, I think he is, like, legitly reacting to whatever he's playing.
I'll say this. Fear, I can't fake. So if I get scared in a video, that's genuine fear. I can't fake that. Being completely honest, the rage in the videos and stuff like that varies between exaggerating it a little bit and then exaggerating it none at all. And usually the videos that are actually titled rage in them are pretty genuine, 100%. And the ones that aren't titled that, where I get pissed off, are a little bit exaggerated.
Yeah.
So,
well, I guess that would
like
make sense. I mean, I think it's fun to rage, and I, like, since I'm starting this new channel with the podcast and the gaming, like, I've been doing some rages, and it gets a lot off your chest, I think, because it's like you had a stressful day, and it's like, you know how I guess back in the day, your parents would be like, "Are you mad? You should go punch a pillow or something." Or like,
I don't think I ever
they
did
told
that.
you that before, right? And so, you know, you'd go, "Well, that's stupid." And like,
yeah, it's.
But yeah, I mean, like, because I saw the Twisted Metal rage, and I was just.
Yeah, that was real. I was genuinely ready to, like, throw my chair out the window on that one. I was absolutely. That's top 5, like, the most pissed off I've ever been on any of my videos. And I have a really, really low temper. Like, it takes a lot to piss me off. So when I get to that point, it takes a good 2 hours of playing. But I'm genuinely just ready to just eat nails.
Yeah, actually, like I gotta say one thing. Okay, Half-Life 2 Episode 2, the Strider battle. If you remember that,
yeah.
I've never yelled in a video game. Like, I've never yelled rage in Rage. Like, and this wasn't fake. Like, my sister's downstairs watching TV. I'm upstairs playing it because I just bought it, so I'm, like, really excited. And then I did the Strider battle, and I literally took 2 hours to beat it for me because I'm terrible at the game generally. And so I literally was screaming in rage, and my sister's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "This game is so freaking difficult. God damn it." And I'm just, I mean, like, oh my god.
I remember doing that, and I didn't know what the hell to do for about the first 10 minutes of it.
It's kind of dumb, because it's like you only have one palm, and you have to keep going back for another.
Yeah, I don't know why they did it that way. I guess just trying to be realistic.
Yeah, the realism, for sure. And also the rage is, like, plenty. Like, I want to do walkthroughs of it, but I'm afraid that I have to do the Strider battle, and people are going to get bored of me doing it for 2.5 hours of trying to beat it and going, "I'm sorry, I'm not a pro."
You just, like, speed it up or something like that. I guess usually would speed it up or just cut out that entire part or whatever else like that.
Yeah, I guess that would be a better idea, and I'd probably save that for, like, the rage or something. I've been thinking about it. I really want to do it, because Half-Life is my favorite, but one of my favorites. Anyway, moving on. Are we still good? Because my internet sometimes is on and off in my room.
Lucas apparently has been disconnected.
See, yeah, that's the thing. When we do a podcast, something. Lucas, you're back. Okay. People will be on and off.
Yeah,
What?
my internet kind of sucks here, so
Okay, that's fine.
yeah.
Going through a tunnel?
I think that's actually... I don't want to derail this even more than I have, but...
Yeah, well, anyway, let's move on. So, where are you right now, Azurite? Not like address, we're not, where do you live?
Okay, right now, no. I'm in Torrance, California. I just moved here last week, so I'm about 15 minutes from Los Angeles.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that is much better than where I was living in Modesto.
Yeah. Me and Marcus are like Los Angeles fanatics. What would you say? Like,
Yeah.
we
I can't tell you how jealous I am right now.
Well, it's like, granted, you know, the price you pay for living in Los Angeles and stuff like that is the prices on everything are really, really high, and the traffic is, oh my God, like you can't even trust maps anymore because like you'll go on, you know, Google Maps and it'll be like, it's, you know, 30 minutes to this location. In reality, it'll take 3 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. For
I mean,
sure.
Vancouver's really expensive too. I'd say even it's on par with LA, but yeah, traffic is definitely horrendous down there.
I'd like to visit Canada at some point. I've never been to Canada. I've been to Mexico and Japan, but I've never been to Canada.
Oh, actually, that kind of segues us into. We are actually from Canada, all of us.
Yeah, that's why I would say you're all from Canada.
Yeah. Actually, me, Marcus, and Nick are living in the Vancouver area.
Yeah.
If you know of that city, not town. But and Lucas is down in the Okanagan, which I'm not sure if you're aware of or not. It's kind of.
Yeah,
I can say being a I'm sorry to reinforce the stereotype here, but being a stereotypical American, my geography is absolutely garbage. So it's like I know that there's an Ontario and I know there's a Toronto and like a Windsor and stuff like that in Canada. But if you ask me where they're at, I'd probably point to like, I don't know, like South Africa or something like that.
Well, that's totally fine because sometimes I pretend that I know everything about America, even though I'm so dumb for America. Like it's like I have like a friend who's like American, and he's like he comes up to me, and he's talking about a place, some town in the States, and I'm go, oh yeah, I know that. And it's like, and there's you know the pizza place, right? That you like turn right, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know that one down the hat row. And it's kind of, I don't think I can hold up the facade much longer. I don't think.
America is like a bunch of little countries, and it's like if you live in one of them, you're expected to know everything about it, and if you don't live in it, you're still expected to know everything about it. And so it's like people will sometimes ask me, like, you know, like, you didn't know this like famous landmark is in this state and stuff like that in America, and I'm like, no, I didn't damn know. It's like America's huge. Like, I'm terrible at geography. It's like my second worst subject.
Yeah.
I mean, so not ever coming to Canada, do you have any like stereotypes about the weather? Because I know I was just in San Francisco about a month ago, and I left there and came back to Vancouver, and it was about 20 degrees warmer up here in Canada. And I was just totally blown away by that. I don't know.
Well, I know that one thing is California. I'm glad, you know, there's all the video and film work here, and there's just a bunch of stuff to do here. But one of the things I hate about this state is that the weather is always sunny. And that may sound silly to say, but my mom and dad and uncles and aunts all grew up in Indiana where it rains like every 3 days. And so I guess just genetically or whatever, I love it when it's raining, thunderstorms, tornadoes, hail, lightning, everything else. And you never get that in California more than like 5 days of like year.
Yeah.
That's it. Especially in the valley where I was at in Modesto in Northern California, and then somewhat down here it's still pretty bad too in Torrance. There's like never any other weather. And so that's one thing about Canada. Oh, Lucas got disconnected.
No!
Oh.
Oh, it's fine. Lucas and his internet first world problems.
Get sucked into a black hole. Vegas disappears on the Skype window.
Oh, and he's playing Half-Life too.
Well, that's probably why.
Jeez.
He's playing like a
What
Steam
a
game.
dick!
I'm sad to admit I've never played Half-Life. I consider myself I hate the word, but hardcore gamer.
I've never watched any Indiana Jones movies, and I've never played a Mass Effect game, and I've never played a Gears of War game.
Okay, well, Gears of War you're not on much, but go freaking play Mass Effect.
I've also never played Skyrim. I've also never played any of the what series is Skyrim in? The Elder Scrolls. I've never played any games in that series. I've also never played World of Warcraft.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah, I'm just scared of World of Warcraft.
I've
I've played like 2,000 plus games, but I've never played those.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've only heard of Half-Life since a few months ago maybe 6 months ago. So I'm still pretty new in this whole gaming world because I have a laptop now, and so I have Steam, so I can start researching about all this. Before I was only my parents' laptop, so it was all just, oh, what can I find for GameCube? Because that's all I really had was a GameCube, and I still do, and it's still fun, of course. But yeah, so I'm still a newbie, and people kind of like make fun of me for it because I remember I first got Steam when I started my first year of film school, and I said, guys, Team Fortress 2 is free, and I was so happy. and the guy's like, old news. I'm like, sorry, I just got Steam, so I didn't know.
Yeah, Team Fortress 2, I think, is one of those games, like, I'm not really a PC gamer other than StarCraft 2, but I went into Team Fortress 2 and I just got murdered. Like, absolutely mauled.
Well,
I'm not MLG.
It's like Team Fortress 2 I got on day of launch, and you have to remember that game has been out now for what? Has that game been out for 10 years now? I think. It's been pretty close to 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
Probably about 8 or 7 years. And so it's like those people have had that long to like, get that good at the game, and now there's like 15 weapons for each class that all have like their different properties and stuff like that you can like sort of break the game with depending. So, it's really really competitive on there with some people being extremely good. But then on the flip side, some people are new.
Yeah.
And they may bring down a team because they have no idea what they're doing. And these other guys trying to do like these pro strats, and then the other people don't know what they're doing, and it all gets screwed up.
Well,
Same kind of thing with Counter-Strike, too.
Oh, yeah.
Counter-Strike's even longer. That's even more time to get pro with that. I can't even play that game. I just die instantly.
Oh, man, I remember playing Counter-Strike LAN in the computer labs in high school.
Yeah,
that was fun.
That was the best, dude.
Oh, that's so classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, like and the new free to plays on Steam that come out, like that I try out instantly. Somebody's already instantly MLG at it now. It's really crazy. Just as soon as it's released, it's like, whoop. I'm like,
I was gonna say too, Canada. Going back to that, it's like you were talking about like stereotypes and stuff like that. If I had any about Canada, I think you said that.
Yeah.
But the one thing, of course, that all Americans think about Canada is that you guys all say about like a boot.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Now
I've never heard anyone say that.
And here's the thing though. I say this to Canadians, and then they're like, I've never heard anybody say that. But here's the thing. Now, I'm not ashamed to admit this, because you know what? The first seasons of this were a good fucking show. And I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons of Degrassi, The Next Generation, all right? And I watched those, and every single person on that show that is Canadian said a boot as much as you could a boot it. That is, they pronounced it so thick. Like, they were like, so you want to go to the show? What about it? It was like so thick. And I was like, every single Canadian must speak like this, because it's not even one person on the show. It's every single person on the show that is Canadian says a boot. They never say about. They always say a boot.
You know, it's so funny because my friend, he's so into making fun of Canadians. Even though he's Canadian, he's like very hypocritical that way. And after we took a trip to America or something, he said, okay, I'm going to take all the stereotypes of Canada, and then we're going to apply it to all the Americans we meet. And then, and so he decided to say a boot, and since then he's been saying a boot for years. Like, I'm talking 3 years straight. He just wouldn't stop. And then my dad went up to him, and he's like, how do you say shout? He's like, shout. How do you say shoot? Shoot. And it's just like, how do you say about? A boot. He's like, no!
It's like that thing in Family Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh man.
It's all ruined. Wait, okay.
Cool whip.
What are the Aztecs?
I'll have to admit, though, I say A all the time.
I do too, and I'm not ashamed to say that.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's just normal. It's not like...
I just like to visit Canada, though, because it's like, you guys seem overall much more open-minded and progressive than a lot of America. And I'm not saying that Americans are automatically bad that way, but it's like, I don't know, Canadians have had a culture where they can have that progressive mindset and not get bashed down for it, whereas like America is like mostly stuck in like the World War II era, where it's like, if you're progressive, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, well, still, right now we are like in a kind of a pickle right now because our elections are coming up here, and knowing if you know Quebec, right?
I mean, I know what that
like
is.
the area, not what about it, but just that we have an area called Quebec
Mhm.
that is part of Canada. But the Bloc, that's a party. Bloc Québécois wants to, like, if they came in power as prime minister, they would split Quebec into a country. That would be one of their main goals, is into a separate country, which is kind of like, why? Because then Canada doesn't become very bilingual anymore, because if you went to Canada, you would see English, French everywhere, because it's
I know
integrated with
Quebec's got
English
a lot of
and
like
French.
special rules about it. Like a lot of stuff's done a little bit differently there.
Yeah. But yeah. So I mean, like, it's just kind of, it's gonna be a bit of a flame war, I think. And I mean, I don't know if they'll win, but they're getting a lot of votes, and I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, sometimes I get so mad at America that I do judge them like unfairly. But I mean, I visited it, and there are times when I'm just like, this is so awesome. But that's just because I was basically at Disneyland or Six Flags, so it was always fun.
You know, it's like there's parts of America that are just like terrible, and there's parts of America that are just really good, and it's like it's so mixed. It's
Yeah.
really difficult. It's like California.
I
Wait, I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say, like, I love America. I've been everywhere pretty much except for the Midwest and like Las Vegas and Miami, like New York, LA, like all over there. I'd say it's pretty similar to Canada. I mean, from what I've seen at least.
And by the way, for anybody
Topography-wise?
from the Midwest that's watching this, I'm not trying to put you down if you're from the Midwest. It's just more that I've been to the Midwest a lot, and there's like nothing to do there. Never.
I would have to agree. I'm sorry.
There's just nothing to do there. It's nothing against people who live there. There's just nothing to do there. But Cal, now I don't know if you know this, because even a lot of American people that I know didn't know this. But then again, Canada, I think that's actually something too.
Yeah.
Canada and most other nations that I have viewers from that I talk to, it just shocks me how much more like well versed you are for either your age or your like level of education or whatever compared to the average American. It just blows my mind. Like I'll get like these like little kids from like Norway or like Denmark or something like that. You know, like some like 10-year-old kid that's like in school, and he's like, he'll write to me. He'll be like, I really like your videos. I think that you really can express your opinion well, and I think that there's a lot of intelligent dialogue that's in the videos. I'm sorry if my English is very bad. I've only been taking it for about a year. It's like,
Wow.
and it's like all in perfect grammar, like perfect capitalization, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you know, like how is that bad?
And then the American comments, which everybody knows what the American comments look like nowadays, because a lot of them are just like, it's like, whoa, you fake, or like stuff like that.
And then I'll get, and I don't know, I've talked to some people from like Sweden and Denmark and Norway and all these other countries, and they'll be like, yeah, so like by you know, high school we have to have learned like French, Spanish, English, our native language, you know, Russian, whatever. I'm like, these are all mandatory. You have to learn this many languages. Yeah, it's mandatory. I'm like, wow.
Holy cow!
So I don't know if you know this, but learning a language isn't mandatory in America.
Yeah.
You don't have to learn.
Yeah, it's kind of like Canada. As long as you have what is it, like grade 9 or 10, you have to learn either Spanish or French. Oh no, I can't be wrong.
You don't have to actually. I got by without learning anything.
Really?
Yeah, I never had to learn any other languages. They want you to, but you don't have to.
Oh.
Now that's at least in California. And going back to what I was saying about California is I don't know if you know this, but California has tried to pass a law now for like the past 50 years. Like they've tried to pass this now like 6 or 7 times, to split California into 2 or 3 states.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
They've tried to do that because if you go to Northern California and then you go to Central and you go to Southern, they really are like very distinct separate states. They're almost nothing alike in any way, shape, or form with the way the people behave, the culture, everything is very distinct, which is why we actually have the terms NorCal and SoCal and Central California or the Valley. And they are very, very different, and they've tried to pass this for years. Texas has tried to separate from America for like decades too.
Wow.
The governor of Texas that's, I think, either in now or is trying to be elected definitely wants to do what your guy wants to do in Canada, is separate Texas from America and make it its own little governed nation.
Wow. That's
Oh,
really
well, that's
interesting.
Good luck
ridiculous.
on that one, though.
Huh. Well, we're gonna let's change gears a little bit.
I was
And,
gonna say I derailed this so bad.
what?
I was gonna say I derailed this like so bad. We're like 26 minutes and we're on question like 4.
Oh, it's not a big deal. I mean, like, I know I say that these podcasts, like, oh, it has to be an hour, rah, rah. But I mean, like, I can make exceptions because, like, I'm not with the same group of people who we talk about the same things a lot of times. I mean, like, you know, if we are in like a serious discussion and we're just gonna keep, I'm not gonna be like, all right, guys, stop, no more. All right, sorry, we can finish this later or whatever. You know, so it's all good. But if you do have a place to go, yeah, then just say so. You're like, oh,
I have nothing going on the rest of the night. I'm fine.
All right, cool. This is gonna be fun. All right. I actually we were kind of talking. We were talking about Counter-Strike just for a little bit. I just kind of like am reminded of your new series that you have for Counter-Strike, and I just want to say like, it's so amazing to watch. I mean, like, a lot of people aren't taking it as light as, like, they're not taking it like, they think you're just being dumb, but it's just like the way it's done, it's just like so good.
Well, it's like I get varied responses on it because some people don't like the team killing, and I know that's like a touchy subject. And the only reason I do that is because Counter-Strike, a game of Counter-Strike, is like 2 to 3 minutes max. And it's like, okay, 2 to 3 minutes, that's, you know, great. It's like if this is League of Legends, you know, like 45-minute games, I'm not going to do that because that ruins like 45 minutes and you can't even leave the game without getting penalized. But I do it more to incite the initial reaction to people because it's like if you're doing the voice stuff, sometimes they don't really react to that. And then when you do that, then they're like, oh, well, fuck. And then they start like getting into it. And then,
Yeah. It's very...
I try not to do it though, but you have to...
I mean, well, it's just hilarious. Like, I mean, a lot of people are like, you should swear so much in those. But I mean, like, it's kind of like you're parodizing all these trolls. And I feel like it's just like the Call of Duty trolls, except like you're just mastering it in terms of, you know how they troll, and you're just making fun of the whole thing, I think, you know?
Well,
It's
it's
the whole
like...
system.
It's like... I find it ironic that people tell me to not cuss on a video where people are getting murdered, but like the whole thing is when I'm doing the commentary for it and stuff like that, you know, I'm talking to these people. I used to have something called HLSS that you could broadcast over the servers, and Steam and Valve mostly shut that down in games, so you can't really use that much anymore. But I would get these like clips from television shows and like from Mari and stuff like that. And I would broadcast them over it, you know, and people would think I'm actually talking, and they'd like flip their shit. And that showed me like, wow, like if you just start saying stuff on these games, people will believe you no matter what you say.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, so I just started saying the most ridiculous stuff, which, you know, if you think about it with the same mind, there was no way I'd be saying this stuff. Like I think that one episode of Call of Duty where I'm like, you know, I'm like telling the guy, you know, that I want to like make him a prostitute or something like that, or give him classes and like I forget what it was or something like that, like jerking off or something like that. And it's like, if you really think about it, it's like you've got to realize I've got to be kidding, but it's like they take it so literal. And they're like, something's wrong with you, man. You need to see a psychiatrist. Something's wrong with you.
Yeah, it's like it's entertainment. Yeah.
It's just great. I mean, like, my favorite part is just the internet police.
Yeah.
Every time you say that, it's just hilarious because I'm just like.
it's like psychologically people don't like being either talked over or somebody being really aggressive with their speak, and so in a game where you're already aggressive, it just pisses you off more. So it's like you'll go on there and you'll just like these people will be like, you know, like shut the fuck up, and the minute you hear that one word, like I've gotten really good at the minute I hear somebody speak, I just immediately scream over it as loud as possible or something. And the minute that happens, they just get completely shut down, like mentally, and they're just like, what is going on? Like, I can't even get through this guy. And then people go to, like, you know, your mom, I fucked your mom, I fucked your dad, oh, you're a faggot, whatever else. And then it completely blows their mind when I agree with them. and promote what they're saying. And I'm like, yeah, man, I heard about that. She told me you were great, stuff like that. And then they're just like, what? Like, he's supposed to be mad at this. He's supposed to be mad. And then they don't know what to even say anymore after that. And then that's when I've succeeded in blowing their mind, and I'm happy.
That's awesome.
It's just amazing.
By the way, I do respect and love my mom a whole bunch, but this is just for comedy, so she knows that. She used to throw pancakes on her face for comedy and stuff like that at dinner, so.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's go to the beginning. Rock Band. It's a great game. First of all, drumming is actually something I like to do, but
me too.
I haven't got the time to do it because I don't have drums and money at the moment. But it's I used to like do it at school, and I just kind of caught on. I mean, like I started listening to Rush because of Rock Band, and I was like, my God, the drummer is amazing. And then I had to like drum to Rush songs, and I just practiced via them, and it was just really fun because like I think drums are the least intimidating instrument that takes a massive amount of skill to master, I think.
Didn't we figure out like a while ago that we were actually at the same Rush concert in Seattle before we even met?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we were in Seattle. Me and Marcus were in Seattle for the Rush concert 2010 Time Machine tour, and we never met when we were there until like was 2 years out, 1 year.
2 years after, yeah.
What?
Or 1 year, yeah.
Yeah, 1 year later, and then it was like we're talking about Rush at film school, and he's just like, yeah, but Rush is great. And then I was like, yeah, I went to their tour in 2010. He's like, me too. I'm like, yeah, in Seattle. And you're like, yeah, me too. And I was like, oh my God, best friends forever.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, hey, one quick side note I wanted to tell you before this happens, if it does, is my computer lately has been having this real cool problem where when I'm on Skype, after a set period of time, it just literally locks up completely, no BSOD, no nothing, and then I have to reset. So if you do suddenly notice me going completely quiet and like not responding to anything you're saying, or I just get dropped off the call, then that's what happens. So it's not that I just decided to suddenly like rage quit the call. So
yeah, okay. And you'll just refresh, or
I'd have to reset my computer. It'd take about 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, I just didn't want you to think I suddenly got like pissed off and was like, bah! Just like left.
No, that's fine. So we'll just try and get through a bunch, and then when you have to reset the computer, then
Yeah, I hope it doesn't happen.
Oh no, but if it does, that's fine. And me, Nick, and Marcus will sing a few songs, and
all right.
We'll
I'm a terrible singer.
You can be backup then, or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Don't sing Happy Birthday. It's copyrighted.
Yeah. Oh God, I hate that. I hate a copyright. It's interesting because we learned about copyright last year in our film school, and it's so interesting, like the whole subject of it, and just how hard it is to use.
Happy Birthday actually is copyright, by the way.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we learned about that, and I'm just like, why? It's just a general song.
Yeah, a lot.
It should be public domain.
A lot of people, like I should jump ahead a little bit, but fuck it, we'll ask questions out of order. I don't give a shit. But the copyright thing, a lot of people will say like, why don't you just do Rock Band videos and then just like put down that it's fair use, or just like tag the video with the artist's name. And it's like, people don't get that this is the equivalent of running into somebody's house, taking their TV, and then waking them up and saying, hey dude, I'm taking your TV. I'll make sure you know it's your TV, all right? I'm making sure we know this, and then they just leave with your TV. It's basically the equivalent of that. It's like putting down the artist name.
Yeah.
Or putting down that it's fair use does not work. This has been a myth that is propagated in the Rock Band community for so long, and I don't know why, but it has. Putting down fair use on your videos does not count, like unless it's an educational video. And for something to be educational on Rock Band video, you would have to literally do the song, do it in super slow motion, and have a voiceover saying, like, in this section, I decided to do a paradiddle pattern to be able to go with this series of notes. And we're going to watch it here in slow motion close-up. And, you can't play a song and be like, well, some people learned how to play it because they watched me full combo, and they got better at it because they heard the like pat noises. You can't do that. You can't do that because I can say, well, I did this video and I took like, I don't know, Shaq's song or something like that. I took Shaq's song and it's a study on the educational value of what happens when a basketball player gets into music. Like you can't like put up some bullshit there and then like expect it to be valid. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I always have a little chuckle when I see the YouTube videos and like people posting songs or whatever, and it's like, I don't claim any right to owning this music. Like I don't own the rights. And
right,
like,
exactly.
well, obviously.
Now the second sad thing though that sucks about copyright is that a lot of bands actually don't have any problem with people putting up their music, and they even welcome it. But the problem is when you get moderately big, you get with a label, and the labels are all run by people who are very out of touch with the internet community and the music community in general. So they don't realize that they're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of free advertising with these videos that people are posting of them playing their songs and rhythm games. And so even if the band doesn't want it, they still shut it down. And the best example of this is when I first started doing my Rock Band videos. See, I'm segueing into that too. Perfect.
Oh, awesome.
The Inner Sandman video I did the Inner Sandman video, and that blew up like because all the other Rock Band videos were blowing up. That got like I think 4 million views or something like that. And when it had been out for a few months, Lars Ulrich of Metallica got contacted by Wired Magazine online to do a small article of his 10 favorite videos on YouTube that were tributes to Metallica. And that Inner Sandman video was in there. So he handpicked that video out and favorited it on the official Metallica channel. It still got hit by copyright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the labels are the ones doing it, and the copyright bots are doing it, even though the bands don't. So I'd like to clarify that, because a lot of people always attack the bands and are like, "Why are you doing it, man? Love your music." And it's like,
No, yeah, we actually did learn that. Like, if it's owned by a label, then the label owns that content, and you have to ask the label or pay X amount of dollars for it.
Yeah, and it's a lot too. I had a friend that was a big rhythm gamer too, go around and try and get permission from a bunch of different artists, and they were all like, "We want $5,000 for one video of our song usage. We want 10,000. We want 25,000." And it's just like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, I know. What? I'm trying to think now. Isn't it Radiohead that quit their label because they wanted to give out permission?
I'm not sure.
Something like that.
I think it was Radiohead.
I know that.
I know that Muse. All of Muse's, no, not Muse. Moby's. All of Moby's.
Yeah, he's all self-published, I think.
Yeah, it's all public domain. Yeah, he publishes all his music in public domain.
Yeah, that's why all the radio songs are overused in our film school projects, because we're like taught to be all copyright, like follow all the rules and all that. So
it's like the thing is if these people running these knew how the internet and how music worked, they'd realize that they're screwing themselves out of money. Like the DJ Hero videos I did, which I've had all take down, all had around 1 million plus views. It had, each one of those had at least 400 to 500 comments of people saying, "You know what? When I saw this game in commercials, and all of a sudden I thought this game was the gayest shit I've ever seen in my life. This fucking looked like a game for fucking faggots," and stuff like that. But then they'd say, "But after seeing you play it, man, this game looks pretty badass. I'm gonna go out and buy it right now." And so it's like 400 to 500 comments at least on each video. I made that game company like thousands of dollars, literally
like
for free. They didn't pay me anything. I didn't get paid, and they made thousands of dollars off of it. And then there was actually even 30 or 40 people in each video that said, "I'm going to go buy a fucking Xbox or PS3 to play this game." Like they actually went out and bought the system just to play this game because of that video. And that's just me. That's not counting the hundreds of other people that made videos of that game, the millions and millions of other views that game got. And of course in Rock Band, whenever a new DLC song comes out, of course it's like, stuff like, "Oh, well, I've never heard of this band. I'm going to go and buy this DLC, money." Making money for free, but they don't want to do it because they don't. They think people are going to get on YouTube and, yeah, I'm not going to use Winamp. I'm not going to download MP3s. I'm just going to listen to it on YouTube because that's completely convenient.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's great. I mean, like, it was great. It was
Yeah,
great,
mhm.
and now it's
It's so strict now. And a lot of people say too, like, why can person A put up rhythm games and you can't? And I'm like, do you notice that little thing in the bottom right that says like music owned by?
Yeah.
It's like if you get too many of those, you get banned, regardless.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a shady area because sometimes you have like really famous YouTuber like super up there,
Yeah.
and they're not going to remove his vids for, personal reasons.
Yeah, because they realize it's going to make them money.
Yeah.
It's going to make them, any exposure will make you money, but it's more prominent if somebody at that level of like, 3 million, 2 million subscribers is doing it compared to somebody with like 100,000.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Although, for the record, you're completely underrated. Like, there needs to be more views.
Well, here's the main theory I have on that is that with the commentary stuff and everything, I don't really do a lot of polish on my videos. I just do the video and then I guess it's a how can I say this? I don't know how I can word this. A lot of the commentary I do is really kind of stream of consciousness commentary, just like this podcast has been, where we're going on completely different subjects. And a lot of people enjoy that, but the vast majority of humanity does not, because they want things to be direct and to the point and simple and easy to understand. And so when somebody's playing Sonic and they're talking about quantum physics, it doesn't really go across to a lot of people as entertaining.
Yeah. But also, what?
I don't know. I love stuff like that. I love when I subscribe to a few YouTube channels, and when they're say commenting on I watch a bunch of StarCraft 2 casting, and if they go on off tangents when they're commenting on that, like, I love it. I enjoy it. It's like you get to see more of like, I don't know, personal side of this, not just something they're doing as a kind of job type thing.
Yeah. It makes them sound real. They're real people, right?
Exactly, yeah.
They're not just, they're like, oh, you have to call my agent first if you want to contact me,
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's like, they're just real people that like, in the end of it all. And when you hear that, you're just like, yeah, it's people that you can talk to on the street without having to like be crowded around by a bunch of bouncers or have to go into like a lineup for or stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, the YouTube company is very open like that, but, at the same time, after Google bought it out, there's been a lot of problems that have occurred.
It's like YouTube, for me, it's like, well, wait, how old are you three? I should ask that.
19.
I'm also 19.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're all about 7 years younger than me. Okay. So yeah, I'm old. But that's the thing is that I was gonna say, like, for me, I grew up. That's actually like the perfect age for what I'm gonna say. Then is like I grew up in an era where the first 7 years I was alive, the internet didn't exist, and so it's like the concept of something you could get on your computer and talk to somebody else in like New York or Florida or Canada or Europe or whatever was just fantasy. Like, it just didn't connect. It's like, how is that even possible? That's like magic, And then AOL came out in like 92 when I was about 7 years old. And that's like right when you guys would have been born then, is right in 92. So you were born into a world that had the internet. So
well,
like
it was about to. There was computers.
Yeah, and it's like for my parents, it's even less so. Computers weren't even like in a household. It's like my dad told me that color TVs were something that they thought would only be like the rich people would only have, and that when they talked about like cable television, that they thought you'd have to put a quarter in the TV to continue watching.
I know, like, I'm still waiting for, our generation, I'm still waiting for, like, the next big thing, because I wasn't alive for the landing on the moon, I wasn't alive for the internet being invented, like, wasn't alive for TVs being invented, like, what's our generation's kind of big thing? I'm still waiting for that.
Well, we had 9/11, but that probably affected you guys less because you're in Canada.
Yeah.
9/11 was like good lord, fucking Armageddon just happened like in America. It's like nobody did or said anything like remotely controversial for like the next like 2 years.
Except went out shopping more.
Oh well,
It's like-
I remember my parents went down to Seattle like I think the day after 9/11, and they said it was a ghost town. Nobody was around. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was a big deal like in America. I mean, for obvious reasons, it was just like everybody was so flipped out for like years after that. Like nobody flew, nobody like went anywhere that could have had any sort of like like no tall buildings, nothing like that. People were like so freaked out for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can't really blame people at the same time because it's like somebody drove a fucking plane into a tower.
Yeah.
It's like that sounds like something out of a video game.
Yeah.
I mean, even now when I think about it, it's like holy
insane.
shit.
I know. It's like and then came like all the prejudice with the
Yeah, which is still alive in America some today, which is sad. But it's like you got to have somebody each generation to blame for things, I guess. And so
that's so true. Actually, there's always someone that we need to blame as a society because we
It's
never
like-
can take the fall for it.
Mm-hmm.
it's like there's always somebody you got to point at. It's like well they're the ones responsible for 9/11 when it's so bad because it's like there were Middle Eastern people involved in 9/11, but it's like if we go down that route, then we should just hate everybody that's like German because like the whole Nazi thing and but then again maybe back in that era because I wasn't alive during World War II and the decades after it. So for all I know, maybe Germans were universally like hated or something like that for like a decade or two after. I don't know.
Yeah. I
mean, it's like I have Middle Eastern friends. I don't think they're gonna go and like bomb me or something like that. But it's like there's still a lot of people that sadly do, and it's like that'll probably persist for about the next 10 years, and then some Russian dude will kill somebody or something like that, and then that'll be the new thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's just it's such a. It's hard to say like we're out of the racism era. We're into a new era where we all enjoy each other's space and whatnot. But it's
I think racism to some extent will exist in humanity for at least the next like millennia or so. But we're at least past the point where we're not going to like kill somebody in public just because they're of a different color. Like I remember my dad told me that when he was about in his I don't know, I think junior high years or something like that, he lived in Indiana, which back then was like super, I mean, it still is like really conservative there compared to like California, but he lived in one of the most conservative towns of that place that was like really, really conservative. And he told me that when he was in junior high, a black guy around their age wandered onto the campus of the school, and some people he knew actually just ran over and killed him and hung him.
Wow.
Holy
Like
crap.
on site. And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah, back then, like the coaches used to say like every racist word in the book about the other team. Like instead of the other team being pussies, they were like, every racial term in the book. And so I was just like, how did that go on? Like, how did nobody see anything wrong with that?
That is crazy.
That's
I know.
People probably say that about us 150 years from now, like, about how we have the whole like stigma towards people that are gay or lesbian, or just the whole like stigma towards Middle Eastern people in this era. Probably say that about us, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not very welcome. Like, I heard like someone said that we have to make change now as a youth, society and youth. And I guess you would, and Des, you probably still count as a youth, even though you're getting into the 30s.
Yeah.
But yeah, as a society, as a youth, we have to change. We have to make some sort of change. We can't sit there, or else our kids are going to learn about the things we've done as a society, and they're going to be like, "You did that," or and they're not going to have anybody to look up to, and so they're like, "You gotta
Well, I
make
will
change."
think, we've done a lot better, as a society compared to, like the previous generation, just because of how much more open people are about a bunch of different things. But we still got a hell of a long way to go, where people are more butthurt about cussing in a video than somebody getting killed.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 50 minutes, and we're on question 3.
Gosh.
So the-
So I expect we'll be done sometime around Saturday.
No, like I said, we don't
I'm not
have
trying
to
to
go
rush
through
everything,
everything.
it's
I'm
fine.
just gonna, find the really good questions, and there's just some like extras in there, like I gotta think of stuff to write. But
Yeah. I didn't want to rush. I'm just laughing. It's just like
Oh no, it's funny.
so bad at derailing things. Like I just derail everything.
Oh, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's amazing. That you're. It's great that you're like we're all talking as a group, and nobody's scared or anything, or it's all.
No, don't be scared. I can't ride a bike. I mean, I can't ride a bike, and I swam through dog crap before, so I think there's no reason to be afraid of me.
Fair enough. Oh yeah. Well, I was actually gonna say something about Rock Band. In fact, did you ever have the one for the Wii, or was it the PS?
It was always Xbox 360.
Oh, the Xbox one. Okay, well, the one on the Wii, it's a little gray thing, if you remember, the little gray drum set.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so easy to break. I remember I got so into drumming on it that I broke the pedal, completely. And
I broke it.
You know what-
sticks.
Wait, you guys haven't... I was just asking when you probably started watching the channel.
Okay, I started watching since Revenge of the Sunfish came out because I'm just like, this is hilarious. And I just kind of like, all of the games you started playing were like really interesting. And I'm just...
Okay, so you came way past the Rock Band era.
Yeah, but I did see the Rock Band videos a long time ago. Then I stopped watching YouTube until Revenge of the Sunfish, and then I started watching YouTube frequently. Other than that, I wasn't a frequent YouTube viewer at all until I started making videos on another channel other than the one that this podcast is on, just making little sketches and stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying it for anything like, oh, you weren't around back then, you're not supporting it like that. I was bringing it up because you were talking about, like asking about the flimsiness of the kits, and
Yeah.
you probably didn't know then that back in the early Rock Band days, the other thing I got notorious for was breaking drum kits and pedals. I counted somewhere upwards of around 18 drum kits and around like 25 pedals I broke.
Wow.
God.
Oh my
So,
god.
Yeah. So I actually did the return thing they had on Harmonix where you got your kits returned, like a free kit or whatever, I did that so much that I actually got banned from it.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was the
Wow.
only person to get banned from it. And here's the thing, is I wasn't like abusing these kits. Like I got some of these kits in the mail that had like 2 red pads or like had a dent already in the pad and the pad wouldn't even work at all. Which is why I made the sock mod, because I tried on kits that weren't working anymore. I tried stapling, gluing, burning, soldering, freezing, soaking, bending, breaking, suturing. Fuck, I can't even think of what else I did to those kits. I tried every single thing I could possibly think of to get that to work. And then the sock mod thing I stumbled on one night when I didn't have any tape, and I had to use my feet with socks on them, and I thought, well, wait, wouldn't the socks absorb the vibration that gets transferred usually with tape? And I tried socks, and I was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing, it works perfect. And then that was it. But I was notorious for breaking kits. There was actually one kit I had where I was so pissed off that it wasn't working right. Like, it literally was dropping like almost every single note on red, and I'd only had it for like a day, and I just got up and probably the most rage I've ever had on that game. I punched the green pad, and I literally knocked the green pad, the plastic, and the pad itself off of the kit. Literally ripped the entire thing off,
Wow.
like with just one punch. So they're very flimsy, the Rock Band 1 kits are.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the Wii ones are worse. Like if you're playing on those, it would just break right away. Like they're terrible. They're just like.
I tried the PlayStation 2 ones. I remember that.
Oh, they're
I don't
similar.
think I played the Wii one.
They're very similar, actually.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway, yeah. I started. Actually, like your most known series. Do you like those? Are those the ones you like the most? You would say, or is there actually some that isn't your most known?
I would say I'm looking at a list here. It's like it depends. It's like Sumatori Dreams is has a lot of views. But in all honesty, I have almost no fun playing that game. I really don't. I do it because people demand it like fucking crazy. But in all honesty, I don't know. And it's like it's fun to see some of the new maps, but I would never play that game outside of doing commentary videos like for leisure time. Now on the flip side, Super Meat Boy, I had somewhat of a fun time playing. Eastern Mind, I love playing. Happy Wheels is fun somewhat, and Facade is fun somewhat. But those two series, Facade much more than Happy Wheels, is much more difficult as time goes on to keep making it funny because you've got 35 episodes of the same two characters with the same programming in the same room with the same objects. And you've got to somehow do something different 35 times.
Yeah.
And so that one's kind of grating on some people, but yet it still gets requested frequently. So, like, it's a cross. It's actually kind of sad that the games I enjoy playing just to play recreationally get, like, abysmally low views on my channel, which are, like, Tribes Ascend, League of Legends, Blur, etc. I get, like, no views on my channel ever.
Yeah. Well, I guess, you know, you may not have the same tastes as everyone, so it's like, it's not a big deal. And I still like all the vids that are put out. But sometimes, like, I miss a lot of your vids when I'm away for, like, a week or two, and then it's like, oh, shit. And then I have to go check, and then it's like, wow, all the content is great. And,
it's like I do a recap video, but it's like, I've tried that a few times in the past, and again, like, nobody watched it, so it just gave me the impression that it's like barely anybody uses them.
Yeah.
So you got like 300 views.
Yeah. I mean, it's still awesome because it makes it look like you're operating a television station, right?
It was pretty much like, like I think at last count, I had something like 130 different playlists, and that's like 130 different game series, and then of course I have the one-shot playlist where I only do like one video for a game because it's either super short or I just don't want to do any more on it for whatever reason. Yeah. And there's like 80 of those, so it's like 200 plus games on the channel at least.
That's amazing. The subscription glitch. You mentioned so much about it, and I just want to know, like, what is it about it? I kind of know it, but, like, what's the whole
I'd like to
deal?
Myself. I'd like to, because nobody's really actually sure. The main thing is that in 2010, the beginning of 2010, I had an account with about 75,000 to 80,000 subscribers, I believe, somewhere in that range. And I was getting upwards of 150,000 to like as much as 1 million views a video. Like some of the videos I would get like 100,000 views on overnight type thing, like no problem. And most of them, of course, were rhythm games. But I debunked this in 2012 when I did a bunch of rhythm game videos, of rock band videos I'd actually gotten permission for, and none of them broke like over barely 10,000 views, even though I had 100,000 plus subscribers at that point. And then people say, well, maybe it's a bunch of dead subscribers. But then I debunked that by saying, I check my analytics every day, and when I go up, let's say like 1,000 subscribers in a week, I actually lose 1,000 subscribers, but I gain 2,000. So it's always fresh subscribers coming in. It's not like the same ones have all just stayed there and then like never left and they're not watching videos. So in reality, I'm at like 97,000 subscribers now, but I've gained like 190,000 over the past like year and a half. But then I've lost the entire user base is almost cycled entirely. So it's not like it's subscribers that aren't watching my content anymore, like have never been active for like years, you know. And so there's, and I get messages all the time from people that say, I haven't seen any of your videos in my subscription box for weeks. I haven't seen any in there for months. I'm only subscribed to you, so it's not like it's getting pushed off by their channels. And now the new thing is that even people like Onision and what's his name, What the Buck are saying now is that people are getting unsubscribed to them. They're active subscribers. Like they're getting actually unsubscribed. And I get messages again for this all the time where people are like, hey, I subscribed to you last week and now I'm suddenly unsubscribed and I didn't know anything about it. I didn't say to do this. I don't know why this is happening. And I have tons of messages like that. So, and they're removing quote unquote dead accounts, but I think they're all active accounts. It's just something is glitched in the system. And it's like, with YouTube, it's Google and YouTube, and you've got literally, I think there's a statistic that in 2011, every minute, 24 hours of video is uploaded to YouTube. Wow. And it's like, it sucks all this is happening, but at the same time, I can't entirely blame them because it's like, this is a thing that has become a part of almost human life itself. It's like trying to manage like the food supply for a country or something like that. It's like YouTube has become this behemoth that is just way too big, I think, for any one company to manage. And so, I can't entirely knock them on not getting that fixed, but at the same time, it does suck because, I have almost 100,000 subscribers and I average about 4,000 to 5,000 views a video, whereas back then I had 75 to 80,000. I averaged 100,000 views a video. Yeah. And it's,
yeah.
So I don't really know what else to do about it if it's been 2 years and nothing's happened except for just try and get videos up on Machinima to bring in more of a new audience and then be like, hey. But
yeah, exactly.
If I'm still entertaining some people, then at least I'm getting that. But
yeah, I mean, it kind of like it's. I can say that it's happened to me too, because I would be searching through the vids and I'm subscribed to 50 plus people, and I would search through the vids because I know that I watch you frequently. That sounds weird. I watch you frequently.
I get a guy that comments on my videos, on every single one of my videos, and describes various things he'd like to do to my genitals, like stapling them up on a wall and then digesting them while he dies. So don't worry, I don't think anything can freak me out anymore.
That's really messed up.
The disturbing thing is these comments always get 40 thumbs up, so that's the thing.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, anyway, it has happened though. I've been like, where are they? And then I actually have to go into the channel, and then
right.
There they are, and I'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And so it's so weird, and you're definitely not the only one to have happened to it now.
I mean, yeah. A lot of people say that too. Well, why is it only happening to you? I don't see the glitch, and I'm like, Blame Truth has I think 250,000 subscribers. He gets 9,000 views a video. We've talked about this extensively. Wow Hobbs has it happening to him. Onision is a gigantic YouTuber. What the Buck is one of the first YouTubers and is gigantic. The basic theory that we have behind it is that in most cases, but not all, it happens when an older YouTube channel that is 2007 or before has people from 2010 or 2011 and on upwards subscribing to them. Yeah. Because a lot of really old users seem to have no problem with it. The people that have stayed around since the Rock Band days seem to almost have no problem with it. But the newer people that subscribe seem to frequently get unsubscribed and miss videos and so forth. So that's what the current theory is, but I don't know if it has any actual basis in reality.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about what's your passion? Is Machinima a passion you want to turn into, maybe if this whole thing gets resolved, a career, a full-time?
Well, here's the thing is with YouTube, it's like when I first started making videos. Well, when I first started making videos, I was a little kid. I was doing little claymation things and little stop motion stuff with toys. But then in 2003, I kind of got back into it, and I taught myself how to use Premiere, and I started making videos. And then from that point, it's just something about making videos is just so incredibly entertaining and fulfilling to me that I don't know how to describe it. And I don't know if it's because I did them as a kid or what, but no matter what I do, whether it's with Machinima or YouTube or anything else in the future, I just want to make videos. And there's just something about that that's just interesting as hell. I completely expect I'll be making videos till I'm dead, pretty much. Like I think I will be making videos on my deathbed. I'll be doing vlogs on my deathbed.
That's awesome.
And I don't know what it is about it that's just so interesting. It's partially I like entertaining people. I have the reverse of like stage fright. Like I get charged and I get happy from entertaining people up on a stage or having all the attention on me or whatever else. It's like I'm one of those people that it's not so much that I'm an attention whore, but that I get charged. Like I get a charge out of that feeling of people watching you and laughing at what you do and liking what you do and being entertained by it. I like live performing and stuff like that. And there's just something about that. And then ever since I've been little, one of my dreams has been to make as many people happy or as entertained or et cetera as I can. And so with the advent of YouTube, that was, one of the easiest ways to do that. It's something that spreads all over that you can do videos on, and it's free, and then a bunch of people can watch it and so forth. And so I was like, shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And what I'd ideally like to be doing in the future would be YouTube videos, and then I would be doing freelance jobs like the one I did for cracked.com, and then any other freelance jobs that I'll end up doing in the future and so forth. Hopefully a lot more now that I'm down in the LA area.
Yeah.
And then I like to be doing my webcomic, which I'm still working on.
Oh, that's right.
And that webcomic is going to be something I'm going to be putting just as much time into as YouTube. Like today I just wrote up a 10-page document to my artist of detailing more of the characters and the backstories and everything else. And then if all that's going on, then I might have like a part-time job on the side. It's like an 8 to 5 thing to pay the bills if I need to. And that's what I'd like to have ideally is like a small amount of income from multiple sources. So if one goes down, I'm not completely broke.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then married and having kids and all that. So that'd be
all that jazz. You do like to edit, I've noticed a lot of times. Editing's one of your would you say, I guess, hobbies? Or?
Editing video is like the primary thing I do with video work. Is like a lot of people would probably say, well, you're more of a commentator and a comedian than anything else, but in reality, I just like editing video more than anything else. Like I can sit and just edit video for like hours and hours and hours and not get bored. Like it gets to the point where I forget to eat or use the bathroom or anything else.
I'm right with you, man.
It's so entertaining to do that. And for most people, it's extremely meticulous and monotonous, and I can totally see why. But there's something about editing. It's just that accomplishment of sitting there for a week straight and editing 8 hours a day, and then you get 10 seconds of footage out of it.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that 10 seconds of footage looks good. It only took me like 40 hours. It looks
It's
good.
That feeling once you get something perfect,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so something about that, because I started doing videos like in later years, 2003 and stuff, because I was at my grandma's house and I was bored as hell in Indiana, had nothing to do, and I had a laptop with Adobe Premiere and 2 episodes of Naruto on it. And so I thought, you know what? I see these like anime music videos these people do. I'm going to try making one of those. So I self-taught myself how to use Premiere. I tried every single thing on it and all this stuff. Made the video entirely without keyframes for the most part, which looking back on it was absolutely insane. And I just edited those 2 episodes into a music video, and a lot of people liked it, and they said, like, this is your actual first video you've made? And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, you need to get into this as a business because this is better than most people's, like, 9 or 10 tries at it. And I'm like, well, okay, I'll try doing it then.
Yeah,
Azuritereaction.
Just doing it, and something good will come of it.
Yes. It's a lot of people. I have yet to do a video on that, and I've wanted to for a while just to, like, say how funny that is. Because, a lot of people bash anime music videos. Right. And I'll agree with them that 99% of anime music videos are totally bad. And they're garbage. And they're very badly edited. And they're usually, like, 2 guy characters that are, like, in, being shipped as being in love with each other set to, like, Evanescence or something like that. And that's usually what most of these are. The subtitles are still there, and none of the action goes with the music, but as long as it shows them looking like they love each other, that's all that matters. And the thing is, though, is I think anime music videos are the easiest way for somebody who's never done any video editing or any video work at all to get into it, because it provides you with a raw source of video that you don't have to worry about the quality of it. Like, if you were to go out and film something on the street, you have to worry about lighting, camera angles, sound quality, blah, blah. But if you just do a music video, the only thing you have to worry about is editing your video content, and that's it. So it's a lot more relaxing, and a lot more experimenting can go on with the actual video editing without having to worry about the video content, the raw video content itself.
It's a great start.
A lot of people, but.
Yeah, I think it's a good start to, if you want to it's a good practice thing to kind of get you into the whole idea of cutting. And
don't try and like wonder as a career. Don't be like, I'm gonna make music videos as a career, because that's just don't do it.
No, definitely not. But speaking of which, I'm curious to know about the VVVVVV music video that video you mentioned a while ago.
That actually is pretty much defunct. That has been dead for a while, because I know you emailed me back a long while back, but that is pretty much done. I was doing an intro for a game, and not for a VVV game, but a game that used VVV music, or VVVVV. I don't know how to pronounce it, if it's 6 V's or if it's just
6,
like...
I think it's 6.
I think there's like a way you're supposed to pronounce it, though. It's like just like V, or just like VVV or something. I can't remember. But it used that music, and the game was called Pulsin. And I did a few videos on my channel, but the main thing was that I did the intro for it, and I actually can't remember if I finished it or not, but I know that I kind of abandoned the full-fledged project because there was a lot of difficulty with kind of like the timing of releasing the pack, and a lot of other stuff like that. Like, there was a lot of kind of like mixed signals that were going on, I think. And so I did what I could of it, and then I was just like, I'm not going to be able to finish this. And I think that's like the only project I've never finished that I was doing for somebody else. I think it was also something going on too in my real life at that point. Like, something really big happened. It was either like college, or it was either something. I don't know what it was, but I know that like I just had to stop doing it. And the guy and I are still on good terms and everything, but I was just like, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm gonna give you what I got. And he's like, no problem. I feel bad about that, because it's the only one I ever abandoned, the only project I ever abandoned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your kinetic typography videos, you have a few of those that you have been signed to work on. And tell me a bit about the process, because I did a video. My first video I did on this channel, Super Meat Boy Rage, it was kind of done like that, except without the movement of the letters and the contraction and expanding and the animation. It was more just I wrote out every letter of the words I said while raging, so it would add more of a comedic effect, because if you see the words, I found through kind of statistics that people found it a little more funnier when they saw all the words floating around that I would say.
That's definitely true.
Yeah. But how is your process of kinetic typography? Because obviously it's a way more advanced way of working with words in a song.
Well, it's much like everything else I do. I pretty much just like self-taught myself that with just like experimenting. And not to say that because I self-taught myself it's superior, but it's more that I end up doing a lot of stuff because I'm very bad at learning from other people, but I'm great at self-teaching myself. So I usually have to do that. So like with the typography thing, I experimented a little bit on smaller videos just for myself about once or twice. And then the third or fourth time I tried to do something was I contacted the band, The Chemists, because they had a song in Blur that I absolutely loved, and I wanted to do a video for it. But they'd already had a video for that particular song, and so they said, do you want to do another one off our album? And so I said, sure, and that was the Renegade song, which I'm going to finish this year, I promise.
Yeah.
For the love of God. But I tried doing that, and that video I kind of planned out a little bit, but then I just kind of like winged a lot of it. I guess kind of just improvised, and everything. And so there's a lot of parts that I want to go back and kind of like fix up a little bit. But the process got a lot more refined with the cracked.com video. And when I did that one, the robot rap one,
yeah.
it took me about 4.5 months, about 5 months to do. And some of those were like gaps where I wasn't really doing anything because I had a bunch of real life stuff I had to deal with.
Yeah.
And then there was gaps where I'd just go for like 2 weeks just working my ass off on it.
Yeah.
But the process I do with the typography stuff in that case is I'd spend about a month of that time completely planning out. I'd look at all the lyrics and I'd try and plan out how they would flow into each other, how I could show them visually, how I could reference what they're talking about, but most importantly are the transitions, like how they can flow into each other.
Right.
Because if you have good transitions, then the words will flow naturally and it'll look much more organic to go from this word to that sentence, that paragraph, etc., rather than what you see in a lot of typography videos where it just goes clean white, everything move to the left type thing.
Yeah.
And it's like that kind of disorients the viewer. And I want to do a video sometime on that, like on typography, because like a lot of people could do these really simple fixes and make it look like 10 times better that they're not doing. Yeah. But that's basically what I do though, is I plan it out and then I go through, and sometimes what I had in my head wouldn't work in the actual project, so I'd have to improvise a little bit there and fix some things. But generally, it's best in a typography video to plan out everything in advance first as much as possible, because then it'll flow smooth. And then I don't know, something about that mixture of music and wordplay is just so attractive to me, because it's like a rhythm game combined with English, which has always been my favorite subject.
Oh, good.
And so it's like I love doing typography videos, but they take forever because I'm so meticulous with them.
Yeah. You use After Effects to do it, or?
Yeah, I use After Effects actually for every project I do from start to finish.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a really good program for stuff like that, because I noticed you had a lot of effects with the words, and I was like, it has to be After Effects, because Premiere only does X amount of things like linear editing and stuff like that.
People usually think I'm out of my mind when I tell them about that, because it's like, not only do I use After Effects for all of the commentary videos I'm doing, the way I write out like that. Yeah, I use them for every single video I've ever made on that channel has been nothing but After Effects.
Wow.
From start to finish. But then, when I say start to finish, I mean like that typography video has somewhere upwards of like 1,500 layers.
Oh my god.
All in one project.
I can imagine.
I think the project file was like 50 megs.
Oh my god.
It was August 6th.
That's a legit freelance project. I mean, like 6 months. That's a legit timeline right there.
But it's like the whole doing everything from start to finish in After Effects. A lot of people are like, "Why don't you do it all like in Premiere?" And then bring in After Effects. And it's like the main thing for that is I don't want to do the whole video in Premiere and then bring in After Effects and then start getting work on that. And I'm like, oh, I have to reconfigure like the timing of this one thing. I have to take it all back into Premiere and then edit it there and then take it all back into After Effects, and I have to move all the effects I've had to like fit this new time frame and this new like section. And I'd rather have it all in one program, so if I need to do anything, it's all bam right there. And if you use the Shy tool, you can just hide layers and then just put stuff into separate compositions, and it's not as bad as people make it out to be. But
yeah, kinetic typography was built for After Effects.
Yeah, it's definitely is. Especially the latest After Effects coming out lets you do finally. I can't wait to switch to that. Like once I finish Renegade, the latest After Effects lets you do 3D text.
Oh, nice.
Like true 3D with depth text. So there's like so many ideas I'd have for that, where you could have text like melting out of other text and everything, and the actual layer or the actual depth of it would give you so many more tools. So I can't wait to do that.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
Here's a challenge for you, and you don't have to get started on it right away, but if you ever could do Hemispheres by Rush in kinetic typography, I would pay you a lot of money.
I mean, I'd do it, but you wouldn't be able to put it up on YouTube.
Yeah, because it would be like 20 minutes long.
Well, I mean, because of the copyright.
Yeah. I mean, I'd just like to see it, I mean, you can even unlist it or whatever and just be like, yo, I did it. And I'd be like, oh my God. And I'd just start crying tears of joy.
Like, one thing I do want to do in the future, though, is I want to do very short speed wraps, like maybe 20 to 30 seconds long, and then animate those with typography. Because one of the weaknesses, I think, of kinetic typography is that it's meant to be very it's meant to be very like visually stimulating.
Yeah.
But if you do it for like 4 or 5 minutes straight, the brain becomes exhausted and almost sort of like it becomes almost tedious to see all this like stuff flying all around the screen like 90 miles an hour and everything going like crazy, and your brain just kind of starts to like get dulled by it, and it's not as entertaining anymore.
Right.
So I think I'm going to try to do like short, like 30-second
Yeah.
things like that, and then see how that takes off if it does.
Yeah. Also, speaking of their speaking and your raps, I did watch the Zillion rap from League of Legends. And are you ever planning on other League of Legends raps or?
I might do other ones. I'm just hesitant on that right now because I can't really think of any off the top of my head that I would want to do that I could actually do the voice for, and also because moving into this apartment and trying to find an apartment when I was staying in San Diego, pretty much like ground everything else to halt. Like for the past like 2.5 months, I have pretty much not done any advancement on any projects besides the webcomic. That's pretty much it. Like before I came down to San Diego to find a place, I intentionally shot over like 150 videos.
Right.
Because I knew I wouldn't be able to shoot much while I was down there. And so now I'm actually down to a buffer of only about 40 videos, and I don't have soundproofing yet in this apartment. So I really need to like get my ass on that. But the once I get soundproofing here, and once I get really kind of set up here, probably like by the end of September, I am going to start doing a lot more projects I want to do, and that is one of them that I do want to do more League of Legends stuff. I just haven't really yet.
Well, you know, I mean, as long as you're keeping a lot of your priorities intact, I mean, like we learned that it's important to like not be distracted so in many different directions that you don't end up doing anything.
Right.
You have to set goals for yourself, and you have to follow through with those goals. Like, you know, the webcomic, for example, you're working like really hard, you know, on it, and you're keeping that in your head. You're not throwing it on a shelf and you're like, okay, we'll get back to that in a second. And then, you know, it's always there, right? Which I think
I'm thinking about it like almost most of the day, actually. My mind's on that comic most of the day. Like, I'm just thinking of new ideas for it and new stuff.
Yeah,
and that's
great. Sorry. Go.
No, it's okay.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna say it's great, but I kept interrupting you.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mind that. I was gonna say it's also kind of hot here. I gotta find out about buying an AC unit, something like that.
I learned for the first, what would it be? Say 13 years of my life, I lived without any AC, and then we moved. No, wait. How old? Okay, I'd be 10, 11. Okay, first 11 years of my life, I lived with no AC until we moved into a new house, and so it was kind of weird to. My dad recently told me this. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, we had a little box in the window.
I've never lived in a house with AC. I guess in Canada, like maybe for 2 weeks a year we need it, but that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It was hard for me to notice we didn't have AC because we had a really good like air conditioning box, and it works so well. I don't even know. Then it fell over.
That's kind of bad.
Yeah. They're so easy to just like push over, so it's like, no.
I always worry about that stuff, like walking along a street in some like city and somebody just like has something fall out of the window and just hits you in the head and kills you right there.
Yeah. Like, doesn't a penny, if you drop it from Empire State, could potentially puncture someone's head? Is that a possibility?
I've heard that too.
I don't know, actually.
Like,
I have no idea.
They're standing right there. You drop a penny from the top, and like they say, like the velocity would be so fast that it would increase essentially the weight of the penny, causing either someone said worst case scenario a concussion to the person,
Sure.
and someone even said it would kill him. But I don't believe that would be the case.
I was actually on top of the apartment building like a long time ago, well, almost 7, 8 years ago, and I wanted to drop a penny off, and I was actually thinking about it, and my parents were like, "No."
You might get charged for murder.
I had some friends when I was in high school that would go out every so often and like get a bunch of water balloons, and they drive down like the main street in Modesto, McHenry, which is like a big ass street, and they would throw these water balloons out of the car and try and hit other cars and people when
Oh
they're
my
driving like
gosh.
60 miles an hour. And I'm like, you guys, do you not understand that like when you're going 60 miles an hour, that you're gonna be able to like kill people with these things, like put holes in like car windows and stuff like that? And they're like, no, man, it's just water, man, it's just water balloon. I'm like, no, first of all, like the surface tension of the actual rubber on that plastic, or I mean on that balloon, like when it hits the initial impact, it's going to be tense. It's going to literally kill somebody, or like at least like knock them unconscious, you know? And then it's like the snapping effect of the water exploding is gonna be even worse. It's like you're gonna fucking kill somebody, and somehow they never killed anybody, or maybe they did and they just did never get found out for it. I don't know. But I never went with them on these. They always wanted me to go with them, and I'm like, you were out of your fucking mind. You could not pay me to go with you on that.
Yeah.
We used to, I remember we used to stand on the side of the road, and we used to throw them at, like, buses, but we would throw them at the passengers who were, like, sleeping at the windows, so then you'd see them and you'd hit them, and you hit the window, and then they would get freaked out and, like, they would drop their book or something. I remember that was really funny.
I remember there was this one kid on the block who was a real asshole when I was about in 5th or 6th grade, and probably one of the worst pranks I ever did was he had a house where like the doorway and stuff like that, like when you walk out of the door, there's like these pillars, you know, like that cover the walkway. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like that. It's got like a little walkway when you come out the front door, and there's got pillars around it. And so it was Halloween, and we got saran wrap, and we pressed it up against one side of his house and then up against the other side, and we wrapped it around these pillars over and over and over.
Oh my gosh.
And we just left it there, and then the next morning he got all pissed off. But that kid was a real asshole, man. He was him and his well, not him directly, but there was these other kids in the neighborhood that were real assholes too. They got a water gun filled with bleach and started shooting it at people.
Oh my gosh, that's
terrible.
And it's like I was only like 8 or 9 when this was going on, and I didn't even know like how bad this was. And then I remember this story like in later years, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, we could have like died. I'm like, wow, man, how did like these kids not get like arrested for this? Like, Jesus.
That's I know, that's crazy. I mean, how much the times have changed. But
Are you there?
Huh?
Uh-oh.
Hello?
What up?
I think I started crashing. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was like, uh-oh, the call.
Not again. But
Okay.
Unfortunately, we're actually gonna have to cut it because since I moved down to the kitchen, I had to get rid of the charger, and so I only have 10-ish minutes left on the battery. So
Right.
we were gonna leave it off here anyway. I think it's a good time.
We covered most of the stuff. We covered we covered the Rock Band drumming. We covered the whole subscription glitch thing, the copyright thing, the favorite series, the editing projects. The only things we didn't cover were like the speed speaking and the what draws in people at game commentary and what a regular day is like.
What is a regular day, real quick, actually?
I kill people in the night now. What a regular day for me now is basically I try to upload videos a day. Hello? 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 Oh.
All right, hi.
What happened? The battery died?
Yeah, I was like, you were talking and like, and it's like, and it does a thing where it closes on you early.
Yeah.
So I quickly got the charger back. So
So what I was
let's
just
get
saying,
everybody together again. So I need
Okay.
I need to hear this. My God, what? I am so dumb.
no, that's fine. Shit.
2 technical errors today. I was like, I knew it. I knew it.
I
was
break
gonna
stuff. That's what it is. Like, it's break electronics.
happen. I know. Oh my God. I mean, like, this is a cheap computer, but I mean, like, seriously, work, right? Come back on. Hold on. I'm just gonna quickly just. At least it's still recorded while I shut down. This
Yeah.
is still going, so it's like, oh, okay. So I don't know if I'd like to take a look at that part of the conversation where I just leave and it's like, hello? What? Hello? So I'm just trying to get the guys to come back on real quick. Unless they're like,
They might not know to, they have to click the join call button if they have the window up.
Okay. Join group. Join group call. You are already in. You're already in. Sometimes Skype is a little bit more confusing than it used to be.
Yeah.
Just give him a quick.
I found the other day you can even screen share if you are set in invisible mode.
Wait, what?
If you're in invisible mode, you can't screen share with somebody you're calling.
Oh, okay.
It's just weird. I don't know why they do
Yeah.
that.
All right. So
Hello?
before I was rudely interrupted by my computer, isn't it just our luck, eh, guys?
It's like I said, it's like technology stuff I get break all the time.
Yeah.
So, not too surprising with me.
No, it's I guess you just go first world problems. You don't let it take control of your life, I guess. But
I got that electronics curse. I got to break everything electronic I can contact with.
yeah, but it's like
But-
just when I'm having like all my other podcasts, perfect. We're all like no fails, no technical
Might be
fails.
because I'm in America too.
What?
Yeah,
Could be part of it.
Because like the distance.
Oh, that's
okay.
true.
yeah, it could be.
Yeah, it could be like your IP is pretty far.
Yeah.
Anyways, where were we?
Okay, typical day of Azurite.
I was gonna say, yeah, what I do is I just upload my videos a day or so in advance, sometimes multiple days in advance if I know if I'm gonna be gone that day. And then I will usually do the info, the tags, annotations, all that stuff and everything so it's all set up. And then the day when these are all actually being uploaded, I'll do most of my stuff in the morning, bathroom, eat, whatever else. And then depending on whatever projects I've got that I'm working on, then I'll spend probably about the next, like, let's say I usually wake up in a day at about like 10 or 11 a.m. And so I'll work on stuff probably till about 3 or 4. And in between there, I'll probably play like a game or two of League of Legends. So that'll probably take up like an hour. And then probably about 3 or 4, I'll go out and get something to eat, or I'll just eat something here. And then, I don't know, watch TV or something like that while I'm eating. And then I'll just work on some more projects, and that's about it, pretty much. That's about it every single day, except for the weekends, where I'll either go to the arcade to go get some exercise, playing like DDR and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or go hang out with friends if they got something planned, something like that. But most of the time, that's about it. And then also throughout the day, like if I upload videos, let's say like 11 and then like 3 and then 8, like the time-wise, I will, I'll click like on the video, and that's not because I want to like my own stuff, but because if you do click like on your video, then it spreads it throughout the network, which sometimes gets into some people's subscription boxes, even when the videos don't, I
Oh,
found.
I know. Yeah,
So
I do
That's
that
why
now.
I do that.
Mhm.
And so
That's
some
really
people
good.
question me on that. They're like, why do you like your own videos? It's like, it's not because I want to. It's because
It helps.
That's a subscription glitch some. And then I generally try and space it out. So like if I upload a video at 11 a.m. at like noon or like at 1 o'clock or something like that, I might like the video, and then like at 2:30 I might post it on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr, and then at 3 the new video will be there. So I kind of try and like space it out so it's evenly distributed.
Yeah. Sounds like you're living the life.
Well, it's like on one hand, I'm really lucky that in this economy and in this day and age that I have this thing I can make money off of, that I'm not breaking the bank. It's like I'm living in a studio apartment, so that should tell you how quote unquote rich I am. I can barely afford that. But that I can take this essentially anywhere where I have a computer and an internet connection. You know, it's like if I wanted to move to any other country or state in the world, as long as I could afford it with what I'm making, I could do it right now. Yeah. Well, I couldn't right now because I'm on a lease with the apartment. But if I didn't have that lease with the apartment, you know, essentially I could roam throughout the country or something like that and not have to worry about it. And that's absolutely fucking amazing that I can have that I can do. Now on the flip side though, like any sort of creative art, it sucks because you are not guaranteed how much you're going to be paid, you know? Like, I mean, it's not like you're going to be guaranteed a salary every year, so to speak. It's like, it's all directly on your performance, on the interest of the viewers, on if they have time. Like last month, my views towards the end of the month dropped like a stone because everybody was going back to school, Labor Day, etc., you know? And it's like, I'm not going to be homeless out in the streets because of that. But it's like, if something were to happen where I dropped like by half the views or something like that a month I usually get, you know, and that continued, I wouldn't be able to live here anymore. I couldn't afford my apartment. And it's not a guarantee that you're going to make a given amount of money. That's always in any sort of creative art like that, where you're doing stuff on your own. So it's very much a double-edged sword. It's freedom, but with that freedom comes a price.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, it's still, I think in the end, like if it's what you like to do, then you'll do it, right?
Just go for it, yeah.
No, I
know, I know a few people who are going to college to get their business degree, and they just want to become a manager of a grocery store. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, you don't like doing that? And they're like, I know, but I just want to make money and retire. And I'm like, but where's the, what did you live for? Like, you know?
Yeah, where's the fun in that?
Yeah, you need to have
fun.
It's
like I did videos for YouTube. Like, I always find this funny whenever people are like, you're only doing videos on YouTube for the money. It's like, one, I did videos on YouTube for like 4 years and didn't make a dime off of that, you know? It's like, I only started with Machinima in late 2011, somewhere around there, you know, mid-late 2011. It's like, you know, I've been doing all this other time for fun. I did it as a little kid even for fun. And that's, you got to be able to, if you're going to do anything creative, you have to genuinely like it before you can start making money off of it and make a business off of it. Because if you don't genuinely enjoy it, then when times get a little bit tough or the money isn't as much as it is, you're going to lose almost all your motivation to even do it. And that's just going to hurt you even more, and you're just going to go in a downward spiral and just jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way of putting it.
Exactly.
Jump off. I agree.
It's great. It's great how, like, although you're so far away, we're in film school, and you know a lot of the stuff that goes on in at least the freelance film indie world, you know?
Yeah. I would definitely say at the same time, if you're going to do like film or creative stuff, you know, take the classes and everything else, but don't really, well, actually I know Canada, I actually studied this the other day because a friend of mine from Canada is wanting to know stuff about college and everything else, and I know that I found out that the Canadian college system is pretty different than America's.
Yeah, it is.
So it's like, so do you guys even have a AA degree over there? I forgot. I don't think you do you?
No, I think it goes certificate, diploma, degree, and bachelor's degree.
So what do you get then for 2 years in college?
A diploma, right?
That's a diploma, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in America that's called an associate's of arts degree. It's a double A, basically 2-year degree. And so if you're going to do like creative stuff, I just think that's all you'd really need, because it's like most of the creative majors, it's like by getting your degree, what does a degree in a creative field even mean? You know, it's like if you get a degree, like in math or science or something like that, you know, in biology, it's like that says, well, I know all of the anatomy or the biology of the human body, etc. You know, I factually know all that stuff, but what does a creative degree mean? You know, it's like you could go and study every single thing that could possibly be taught to you by a director and a cameraman and an editor and an actor, but it doesn't mean you're going to be able to utilize those good, and it doesn't mean that you're going to utilize them in the same way that they do, because anything creative is up to the interpretation of another person.
That's very true.
It's like if you do rocket science, you either build that rocket or you don't.
Right.
It's like that rocket either blows up in fucking space flight or it doesn't. It's like there's no judging a rocket, but it's like creative arts can all be judged. So it's like I find it's a lot more important to actually just go out and have experience with working with people socially in video and doing jobs in video rather than getting a crazy ass like PhD or something like that in video work.
Yeah. I would never get a PhD in video.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's so true. I mean, I'm really in for a lot of our teachers. The school we're going to is very well respected in the film community of Vancouver and a little bit of Hollywood, and so there's so many connections there, especially with the head of the center that we're at, and I'm there kind of looking for a lot of emails really around there, because I really want to try and get on set and actually start, you know, figuring out what I want to do.
That's the thing too, is connections are really, really big.
Yeah. And when you have all those connections and you're on good terms with people, people will, you know, help you out because they like you, you know, unless you're a dick to them, right? Like, if you were a dick to Steven Spielberg, like, you're not going to expect him to write you back. You're going to expect him to, like, block you.
Yeah. Not really somebody you want to make an enemy of. There's old Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I don't know if you know this or not, but Modesto, where I grew up, is the birthplace of George Lucas.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the college I went to is actually the same college he went to.
Oh.
And the funny thing is that's the same college George Lucas went to. We spent $4 million of taxpayer money in Modesto to build a building with the latest video and film equipment and everything else. And as of a year and a half ago, that building got closed down by the board because of budget cuts, even though everybody on the board got an increase in pay that year of thousands of dollars. And to top it all off, even with that new building, and even with the fact that George Lucas went there, there's never been a film major at that college.
What?
Wow.
What did he study?
You can only major in television, which is what I got my degree in.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's cool.
So, no film major at a college that George Lucas went to.
Huh. That's an interesting.
That's how bad that town is for the arts, which is why I got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard you weren't a fan of Modesto for the allergies and the.
No, Modesto is very, very bad. It is god awful horrible. Like I would not suggest anybody to ever live there in your lives. Like there's no positive aspect of living in Modesto.
Yeah.
There's not. I can't think of a single positive aspect.
Like when you were doing your stream for, what's that stupid game called? It's a horror game, and it's like.
Amnesia?
No, it was. It was
Al
like
Oni?
the piano puzzle one. Fuck.
Al Oni, yeah.
Oh, I can't.
I love that, yeah.
Yeah, and how like every once in a while, like your sinuses would swell up. It'd be like, I'm sorry guys, it's just I can't stand this.
Yeah, that doesn't even happen in Torrance. Like I've had like a little bit of congestion, and that's about it. And it's so reduced. Like the air quality in Modesto, was the air quality in Modesto was rated as being the equivalent of smoking a pack of cigarettes a day.
Wow.
Holy
Wow.
cow. That's
That-
mind blowing.
That's insane. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's really bad.
Wow, no wonder. No wonder you felt like you were sick when you were streaming. That's terrible.
Yeah, come up to Vancouver, you'll feel blasted fresh air up here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always thought that Los Angeles with all the smog and everything, was like so god awful terrible and
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
like that. And it actually turns out the pollution in Modesto is actually worse. And
Oh, wow.
I actually thought too that like Los Angeles, like when I moved down here was gonna be like, people like robbing me at gunpoint like every 5 minutes, crime rate really high. The crime rate in Modesto, according to this like numerical statistical rating thingy, is nearly double of what it is in any place in the Southern California area.
Wow.
Modesto is actually the number one town for car theft. When I was in Modesto, we had somebody attempt to rob our car 5 times. Since I moved, it happened another 2 times to my neighbors.
Holy cow.
Oh wow.
In the past 3 weeks, my neighbors have had their car robbed 3 times or 2 times.
Wow.
So it's really frequent there. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
come to Vancouver. It's going to be a breath of fresh air for you.
Probably
Well,
literally. I hear the air quality is really good there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll love the rain too. Even
You'll
though
love
I
the
hate
rain.
it.
Yeah, it rains
Oh,
all the time.
man.
Pretty much all
I
year
get
round,
depressed
yeah.
in winter.
Well, to anybody listening to this, if you're in the airplane business and you get me some cheap tickets, please do. I'll fly on there.
Anyone being 14 of you, that would be. I can name you guys off, and I have your phone numbers, so
Yeah.
I'll be texting you at the end of this podcast.
There you go.
And
No, I
maybe
wish
you
I
have
wish I was like an
discounts.
airline so I could get like cheap flights everywhere. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna check out this place. I'm gonna check out this place.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's all about like, my dad always says, if you want to do a trip, you got to work and save the extra money for
Hello?
it. So I'm planning, to make a little aside for my money. Did I get out of this call? Can you guys
No,
hear me?
it temporarily lagged. I heard
Oh,
you
yeah,
say,
I saw it.
like
I
my-
just saw the thing spin. But yeah,
I heard you
yes.
say like my dad always says, and then it just cut out, and I was like, wow, that's an ironic time to cut out.
like my dad.
He said nothing.
He's like, my dad always says.
Nothing.
Being a silent, I was like, okay.
Well, my dad always said, like, you got to save up money to do what you want to do the trips or whatever you want to do, because I'm not going to support you for your trips. I'm not going to pay for your vacations. That's all on you. And you have to work for it, right?
Do you know about the best times to buy plane flights?
It's during this, like, if you're going somewhere hot, you buy in the summer, and if you're going somewhere cold, you buy in the winter.
Well, more I was going to say is like days of the week, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
Is
I
like
know. I
the
did not
actual best days of the week to fly in or out of somewhere is the middle of the week. So like if you want to try and like fly somewhere, try and time it so on a Wednesday and come back on a Wednesday, and your prices will be dramatically lower.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So you always want to do that. Like it'll probably be lower by like up to like $200 to $300 lower.
Wow. That's good.
Mhm.
It's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
and also there's websites too that I check out frequently that do the whole like, give you a package, right? Like the hotel and stuff, and
Right.
give you a whole laid down price. But vacations are a long way down the road and need to get money first. And so,
especially
I'm not
this-
yeah, I'm not gonna mope about it. I'm just going because I enjoy where I'm living right now, so it's not a huge big deal. But I do want to check out Los Angeles for its film opportunity and see what I can do there. Generally in the indie world, I guess, more or less.
It's
But-
like, with our generation, we were born into one of the worst economical situations since like the Great Depression, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's like, and especially in Canada, or especially in America, even more so than Canada, it's like in Modesto, the unemployment rate was 20%.
Wow.
Wow.
So that means 1 out of every 5 people had no job.
Holy crap.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's like, it's really, really bad. My dad actually built a house from scratch in about 2008 2008, right before the bubble burst. I think that's before 2008, 2007. And he built that house from scratch. And I mean, he spent like $700,000 on it, made it a super nice, like ultra deluxe home. And the bubble burst, and he couldn't sell it to anybody. He finally had to give it up to the bank, and actually owed the bank like $100,000.
That's terrible.
That completely ruined his credit. He'd had perfect credit. He turned 60 actually just a few days ago, and he's had perfect credit his entire life. And then that completely ruined his credit like permanently.
It didn't nearly affect Canada as much as it did America. Like I heard stories of Canadians right when the recession hit of going down to like places like Arizona and picking up houses for next to nothing, stuff like that.
Yeah, ridiculous. Like if that would have happened like now, I would have probably like went and like gotten a home myself or something like that. Like I guess would have taken out a loan and got one because that would have been a hell of an investment, but. Now it's not nearly as bad as it used to be in terms of housing, but it's still kind of bad in the overall economy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think we're gonna probably end it off here before you guys get bored of all this chit chat or whatever. But I mean, honestly, I'm not bored at all. But some of you do, and whatever, it doesn't matter to me. But still.
We covered pretty much everything. The only thing, the only thing we didn't cover was what draws in people for game commentary and the speed speaking. That's the only thing I don't want.
Yeah, well, we sort of kind of glazed over that. But I mean, it's not a.
Yeah, this is like an hour plus.
It's been 2 hours, I think.
Oh really? The longest.
Yeah, it hasn't it?
Yeah. This is the first 2 hour podcast. I think.
We hit the money right here.
That's the money.